Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, March 3rd, 2013. Poor Michael. The guy is sitting all alone in the apartment, eating takeout from a brown box, while his wife is having naughty naked monkey sex with the GCAC bartender. We'll get to all of that. My sympathy lies so intensely with Michael here. Michael is taking all of the responsibility for a situation that is not his fault. Did he take the exact right steps? No. But is he trying to make amends? Is he trying to make things right? Yes! He is all alone now. Lauren has left the apartment. Fen doesn't want to be around him. He starts to reassess his life. And not only his personal life, but his professional life as well, and how those two things intertwine. Michael has always been someone who had a hard time balancing his career with his life. Every career he's ever had has been all-consuming, and he realizes that it's gotten in the way of his relationship with other people at various points in his life, and so he makes the decision to step down from being the district attorney, which this DA job has caused him nothing but pain from the very beginning. And at first it was kind of novel and I enjoyed watching it, but as time has gone on, it's just become such a difficulty in his life that he doesn't need. Michael has just been painted as a monster by pretty much everyone else around him. Lauren and Fen and Kevin. When he was the hero before, Michael has gone from being the defender to the punisher. And that's a very different type of role for him. He doesn't like it. He realizes that it's causing trouble in his life, so he decides to just give the job to Christine, which I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know what steps there are to becoming district attorney, but isn't there an election or an appointment or something? Michael can't really just hand the job over without any process to go through, any red tape, but he did. He just basically chose Christine to take over the position for him while he steps away. And I guess I feel like Christine is probably a better DA anyway, because she's cold, she has no real ties to any troublemakers in Genoa City, she can be a little bit more objective. It's gonna definitely make her the villain. And I'm comfortable with Christine being the villain because she's always been the angel, and so it's fine with me. I think this is probably a good career move for her. She had only a brief moment of contemplating whether she really wanted to take the job, and the only reservation she had was realizing that if she becomes the district attorney, she probably can't sue Phyllis for trying to kill her in civil court, and so that was just a brief hesitation on her part, and then she realized, well, why not do both? I'll become the district attorney and I'll sue Phyllis's ass. And probably use her district attorney resources to really go after Phyllis. So I think that's the direction that we're headed in. Christine is definitely going to do everything that she can do to throw the book at Phyllis. And that should be interesting to see, I think. I like Christine, I do. I think she looked really good this week. Did you guys notice she was wearing this adorable blue, sky blue top that was like sheer looking but not, and it was twisty. The cut of it was really cool. You should go back and look for it. It was just like twisted up in the front, twisted up in the back. Really cute. She looked good this week. And I guess the other thing is I really appreciate that Christine had a conversation with Michael where Michael opened up to her about the difficulty that was going on with Fen and his family, and you know, Christine and Paul realizing that Lauren has left and how horrible that is for him. And Christine took it upon herself to go and have a talk with Fen. And I thought that was just such a good scene, because it had to be really hard for Christine to think about and talk about the past with Michael. She went to Fen to tell him that, yes, your father was a really bad man and he did something really horrible to me, but I'm here to tell you as the victim that Michael worked so hard to become the man that he is today. She even said Michael Baldwin is one of the finest men I know, and it meant a lot, I think, coming from Christine. It was a great moment, and it ended up prompting Fen to go and try to talk to Michael. Michael's sitting alone, practically in the dark, in the apartment, and Fen comes by and just decides that he's ready to talk. More importantly, seemed like he was ready to listen. And Michael got a lot off his chest. Michael told Fen, I don't know if I was trying to punish you because I wanted to punish myself for the things I did in the past. Obviously, Michael's past was tied very heavily into the decisions that he made, in Fen's situation and having him arrested and going after him. But I feel for Michael. I understand. No one is perfect. None of us can really separate ourselves from our past and be healthy. You have to go through a process of accepting who you are and making mistakes and apologizing for them. And that's what Michael did. And interestingly, Fen did too. Fen started talking to Michael and saying that he feels really sorry for what he did to Jamie, saying he doesn't know why he did it. He just wanted to keep Jamie away from Summer, and that there was something that sort of felt good about bullying him. And it was nice to see Fen finally feeling some remorse, but it, for me, is too little, too late. I think it's very convenient that he had his moment right after Jamie left town. I would have liked to see, first of all, I liked Jamie. I think he was a really cute character. I would have liked to have seen Fen befriend him. Just saying that you're sorry, and in fact, Fen even said, I will just try to make amends with him, even if it is long distance. I'm sorry, just saying that you're apologizing is not enough. I want to see deeds. I want to see works. I would have wanted to see Fen reach his hand out to Jamie and shake it and maybe take him in and be friends with him. I don't feel resolved on the Fen Jamie Summer bullying storyline, even though I feel like it's over. I think that the actor who plays Jamie's kind of gone from the scene, what I've read anyway, so it just feels empty. Even Fen's words there just feels empty to me. But he has seemingly, I suppose, turned a new leaf. Fen has decided that he is going to change his own life. Fen has decided that he is going to forgive Michael, and it seems as though both Fen and Michael are in a place where they're kind of ready to start rebuilding the family and repairing some of the damage. Now we just need to get Lauren to lay off the wine instead of laying down with Carmine. Lauren is all alone in her hotel room up at the athletic club, and she started having fantasies about Carmine this week, when she should be thinking about her marriage and what she can do to make things right again. Lauren's mind is drifting to Carmine taking off her clothes and laying her down and having sex with her. The more I think about it, just based on the fact that she's fantasizing about him, I really think that Lauren moved out to the club to justify having an affair, to make it easier to have an affair. I feel like going to the club was just an excuse. And I hate that. I think Lauren wanted the affair. And I'm very disappointed in her. I really am. First of all, if she wanted to have an affair, I kind of wish it would have been with someone that we know, because Carmine is sleazy. Does anybody else get this vibe? He's so predatorial. I don't like it. I guess then again, maybe that's the appeal to her. He's someone that she doesn't know. He's the sexy stranger. The problem is, I think that Lauren is just another set of legs to him. I don't get the impression that he feels any type of emotional connection to her at all. I think he sees her as a woman who needs a little, a little deep, and he wants to give it to her. I think he sees that as his role. Like, oh, this is a woman that needs deep sex and I'm going to give it to her. And like, his whole approach to the thing bothers me. I feel like he's just looking for a challenge, and it's not an even playing field. He knows that she's having trouble at home, and he's always there to pour a drink. Is anybody else ever noticing that? Every time she comes to him, he's pouring a drink, whether she wants it or not. And that is the element that to me seems predatorial. Because like it or not, debate it however you want to, sorry, alcohol impairs your decision making. And that's exactly what's going on here. In Lauren's right mind, she knows that what she has with Michael is worth so much more than sex. Even if it's good sex a couple of times, you can have sex. You can have sex, you can even, it's more challenging to find good sex, but you can find somebody to have sex with. Finding somebody that you actually share a connection with is so much more precious, and it just kills me to see her throw that away, and that's exactly what is happening. Her connection with Michael did not stop her, ultimately, from having sex with Carmine. I am very disappointed. I am. I know that I was intrigued by it at first, but now I'm not happy. It was a moment of, ooh, what was that? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And now I just feel just betrayed. She continued to deny Carmine's advances publicly, but he knew and she knew that she was wanting him. She acted like she would go down to the bar and tell him, no, I'm sorry, I really appreciate your friendship and I don't want to complicate things, but she wasn't concerned enough to go find another hotel room. There's plenty of hotels that you could have stayed at. If he was making you uncomfortable, you could have left. No, bottom line is, she wanted it. She's telling him no. The next thing you know, Carmine shows up at her hotel room door. He's knocking on it. She opens the door and he just walks right in, scoops her up, and kisses her passionately, almost kind of flips her upside down and just packs one on her. And it was one moment of, I'm not saying it wasn't a little hot, okay, but it's wrong, and maybe that's why it's hot, I don't know, but there was a moment where he, swung her around and, was kissing her up against the door, but there was this banging sound in the scene, he was, in a rhythm. These sex scenes, to me, feel graphic in a way that we haven't kind of seen before. He was kissing her and you could hear this bang, bang, bang against the door, he was, bang, bang, banging her against the door. And I was shocked. That's the piece that was a little bit, oh, I never. Because in my right mind, I just, it's wrong. It is wrong that at the same time Carmine is banging her up against the door, Michael is sitting alone in the apartment after having had this heartfelt talk with Fen, and he's leaving Lauren a really sweet voicemail talking about how he has some things he wants to tell her and he loves her and he misses her. He said, I miss us. which I do too. I felt so bad because he's leaving her this voicemail at the same time she's doing Carmine. She's gonna be real sorry when she wakes up in the morning, and she's gonna feel terrible when she checks her phone and hears that message in the morning. The new fashion division at Jabot is taking over Tucker's old office. So everything having to do with Jabot fashion is now located there. I mean, they can only afford so many new sets, you guys. They gotta recycle some old ones. So what is this business's name? I need something to call it. I can't keep, must surely come up with some name for the fashion line, and we need that to be launched soon. They're putting the cart before the horse here. We need, they don't even have a name for it yet, and they're hiring designers. So it's the big day. It's the big day that Chelsea and Chloe are gonna pitch the line. Everything that Kane has been coaching Chelsea toward is now happening today, and Chelsea and Chloe actually brought Gloria with them, which surprised me quite a bit because Jack walked in and the tension was intense right away. It was very awkward. There's a lot of history there between Jack and Gloria, especially over business. So Gloria, for all of her good intentions, is probably more likely to blow the deal than seal it. But it was funny to see her there anyway. Chelsea and Chloe show their line. They make their pitch. Everyone loves it, but Lily. Lily is not having it. She's making like pucker face in the background the whole time. When they finish the presentation, there's kind of a question of, okay, are we gonna get hired or what's the deal here? And Jack decides to give the decision to Neil. Jack is not going to trump Neil on anything. It's Neil's baby to run with. And Neil, pretty much immediately okayed it. And you can even tell that Lily was in the background kind of like, well, we don't have to make any decisions today. She wanted to try to talk Neil out of it, but Neil was ready to seal that deal, and that's pretty much, how it happened. Lily was pissed. She really was. I've never seen Lily as upset and jealous as she was during those scenes before. Everybody is sort of celebrating and talking about ideas and going through the launch of Chelsea's line, and Lily and Kane were fighting in the corner for a very large part of it. To Lily, Kane having involvement with Chelsea is a double standard, which I don't feel that way. Yes, Kane is, he's seeming personally involved with Chelsea, and he is kind of has a personal edge to everything that he's saying. He wants to see Chelsea succeed personally, clearly, but Chelsea is not hitting on Kane the way Tyler is hitting on Lily. Tyler is obvious. I don't feel like Chelsea is interested in Kane or even thinking that she has a shot at Kane at all. I feel like it's fairly professional. I mean, business is personal in a lot of ways, but for the most part, I don't get any looky looks from Chelsea. I mean, yes, she's a good-looking man, clearly, but I'm just not getting the vibe like she's ready to jump on him the way I get the vibe that Tyler wants to jump on Lily. The problem is that Lily and Kane don't trust each other now, and I don't even know where this paranoia is coming from. To me, they have everything. They have a great family, they have great sex, they have romance. What more could anyone ask for? I just don't get it. Why it's gone south so quickly. And Lily, even though she was very grumpy at the meeting. After everybody breaks and goes away, Lily decides that she wants to try to bring it back to a good place with her husband. She arranges this romantic evening at home. She has candles lit. She has wine. She's wearing this gorgeous black dress. She looked so cute and very, very sexy. And she was waiting for Kane. Her sitting there with the candles lit, I just knew those candles are gonna go out. You're gonna be sitting there for a while, girl. She's waiting for Kane to wrap up at the office, and at this kind of just a little bit before, Chelsea had found out that Sharon is moving in with Adam, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But she's very upset about the closeness with Sharon and Adam, and she decides that she wants to leave town. So just after getting this huge account, pretty much launching her dreams, she decides that she wants to leave town, and Chloe is not about to have that. Chloe calls Kane and asks Kane to try to talk her into staying. So Chelsea shows up at the office while Kane is still working, and he tries to give her a pep talk. So who's lurking around in the corner? Tyler. Tyler sees that Kane and Chelsea are together. He already knew that Lily was going home to prepare a romantic evening, so he cannot wait to run over to Lily's house under the guise of needing some papers signed, and he tells her that Kane and Chelsea are together. He knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows exactly what is going to make her paranoid. And it worked! Absolutely! All of a sudden, Lily feels like her romantic evening is dashed. Her husband is becoming emotionally involved with Chelsea, and she invites Tyler to stay. So now, all of a sudden, Tyler and Lily are drinking wine and talking shop when Kane finally gets home, sees them sitting there, sees this guy in their home. Lily brought him into their home. And obviously they started to fight. Tyler left, they started to fight. It got really nasty for them. I haven't seen them fight like this in a really long time, but Lily just is over it. She leaves the house, and where does she go? Work. Not to the bar, not out to a restaurant, not shopping. She goes to work where Tyler is. Quite a bit more was revealed on Leslie and Tyler's background this week. They were talking to each other, whispering in the hall at Jabot, as they have been doing quite a bit lately. And it was revealed that they believe that their father killed their mother. They firsthand saw him standing over the mother's dead body, which prompted Leslie, at least, to testify against her father at the murder trial, get him convicted, and there seemed to be some kind of implication that she did something, some sort of, I don't know, like creative legal maneuvering that got him convicted. I don't know what that could be or whatever, but she mentioned that something about this situation, she did something illegal and it could cause her to lose her license if all of this comes out. So she wants to keep a distance from this case for that reason, but she's also scared that the father is going to get loose. She and Tyler perceive him as a huge threat, and in fact, Leslie made the comment this week that if the dad ever gets loose, he's so violent that it will put them and everyone around them in danger. I think that might be a little bit of foreshadowing there. I wonder. I don't know how violent the guy actually is, but Leslie is scared, and Neil is picking up on her feelings, and he's asked her repeatedly to open up to him, and she's closed off. Finally, this week, she opened up to Neil, told him pretty much the whole story, everything that we know, everything. And I was so glad. I was so glad, because Leslie constantly covering up and lying was starting to make her unlikable to me. So I was really glad that she told him everything about the past, even told him about how Congressman Wheeler is pressuring her, which prompted Neil to go confront Congressman Wheeler. I thought that was a really good scene. Neil got up on Wheeler and told him, I'm gonna ask you nicely one time to stop pressuring Leslie. I loved it. That was funny. I love to see Neil get all territorial, and I like to see Neil almost kind of pull a Victor Newman type thing. You know, I'm gonna ask you nicely once. It was kind of cool. So I'm glad that he's there helping her. I'm worried that he's going to end up stepping into some sort of danger, because the danger around the situation is certainly seeming elevated. Leslie is really trying to decide what she needs to do, and she decided that she was going to go talk to Avery and pry her a little bit about what's going on with this case. She talked to Avery under the guise of, well, I'm a lawyer and I'm interested in doing some work for the Innocence Foundation, and just sort of tried to get some information about the case that Avery was working on. And Avery revealed that she really believes that Leslie's father, even though Avery doesn't know that, is innocent, and that there was a lot of circumstantial evidence that was surrounding the case, and that there was some, I think she even implied that there was some evidence tampering, but even, you know, also said, yes, he was found standing over the victim's body, but he was trying to help resuscitate her, not that he had killed her. So Avery believes that Leslie's father didn't do it, presents this information as a lawyer, lawyer to lawyer, and it just plants a seed of doubt in Leslie's mind. And now all of a sudden, she's asking herself, is it possible that he actually didn't do it? And it becomes pretty obvious at exactly that point to the viewer that the dad is innocent, and who else could have done it? Who else could have killed their mother? Who else is sliming around the scene right now, showing a real unhealthy interest in this case? Congressman Wheeler. So he wants to keep Leslie and Tyler's dad in jail so that the truth never comes out. I'm wondering if maybe he was having an affair with their mother, or she was working for his campaign. Maybe she stumbled across some kind of indiscretion that he really didn't want to get leaked out to the public, so he just took care of her, had to have her silenced. I don't know, but he's clearly a dangerous guy. A couple of weeks ago, when he was talking to Victor, he made some kind of comment about how he was going to take care of Avery. Not to worry, he's going to take care of her. And then suddenly this week, the brakes mysteriously went out on Avery's car. She could have died. She could have killed someone else. Nick and Dillon were, of course, both kind of hovering around her. Dillon took a look at the car, confirmed that her brake lines were cut. Clearly, Congressman Wheeler is trying to kill her to stop her from defending this guy and from having the truth get out. So Avery is in a really bad spot right now. Naturally, Nick is very, very concerned, and Avery starts to tell him everything she kind of can about who might want her dead. And the fact that Congressman Wheeler was originally someone who testified at that trial and who's been snaking around rings a bell in Nick's mind. Nick goes to confront Victor because Nick also knows that Congressman Wheeler has been snaking around by Victor, and Nick asks Victor what the deal is. Does he have something on you? Are you guys doing favors for each other? Because here's what happened. My girlfriend, the woman I love, almost died. Victor acts like it's no big deal. He says. He has this way of like just, even especially when he's caught in a lie and you know Victor knows something about it, all he really does is kind of lifts his head up and like, just lifts his head up and just so like he's not making eye contact. I think that's his poker tell in a way. And he just acted like it's kind of no big deal. And he said that he'll take care of Congressman Wheeler, he'll fix it. I just thought Victor was very blasé about that whole thing. I mean, Victor heard Congressman Wheeler say that about, I'll take care of Avery. So Victor should have been a little bit more responsive, I think. And weird side note, after Victor told Nick that he'd take care of Congressman Wheeler, Victor asked Nick to be the best man at his wedding. Just very, casual. Okay, yeah, your girlfriend almost died, whatever. Do you want to be the best man at my wedding? Because that would mean a lot to me. It was ridiculous. I don't know how Victor is going to take care of this guy. He went to Wheeler, who was at the athletic club, and he sits down at the table with him, and he said to him, "You're beginning to annoy me." Which I thought was a really good line. I should use that way more often when somebody's getting up under my skin. "You're beginning to annoy me." And then he pretty much orders him to leave town, which, again, I seriously doubt that Congressman Wheeler was up underneath Avery's car in the middle of the night sawing off her brake line. He probably had someone else do it. He's a shady guy, so him leaving town isn't really going to help anything. Avery is in danger. Dillon runs into Phyllis at the coffee house this week, and it's revealed that Phyllis and Dillon knew each other from childhood. He looked at her and said, "Phyllis? Phyllis Summers, is that you?" And there was a little moment of, "Oh yeah, I remember you. Hey, what a small world." So apparently, Dillon wasn't just some random contractor that came into Avery's house and had an affair with her. He was somebody that they've known their entire life. They knew him as kids. They knew each other as kids. They grew up together. And as soon as Phyllis learns that Dillon came into town looking for Avery, she figures out the entire situation right away. And boy, she did not miss a beat. She goes right over to Avery's apartment and she rubs it in right away. I mean, she says, "You scolded me for having an affair when you did the same thing?" And I guess, it was a really good scene because I can kind of see where Phyllis is coming from, because Avery did kind of make Phyllis out to be a little bit of a monster because she had cheated on Nick, but Avery has cheated too. And as much as I like Avery, she does kind of give off an I'm perfect vibe. And you kind of have to look at things from Phyllis's point of view. And I forced myself to a little bit this week during that scene. I mean, knowing what had happened in her marriage, Avery could have tried to help her sister repair hers. It seems like Avery has so much guilt over the fact that she cheated on her husband. Why was she so quick to get involved with Nick? And Avery kind of wrote it off like, "Hey, Nick was done with you whether or not I was in the picture," but maybe not. It's just very interesting. I thought that I thought Phyllis made a very interesting point. It's not Avery's fault that Phyllis and Nick's relationship fell apart in no way, shape, or form. But it also didn't really help. So they have a fight, and it was very emotional. And Phyllis goes on to kind of ominously say to Avery, "Well, let's just find out which one of us will be the first one to cheat next." And it was an odd comment because it made me think that, is that some foreshadowing that maybe Avery is going to end up back in Dillon's arms even though she's recommitted herself to Nick? I don't know. So I really do like Avery. I thought that she was really good this week. It's clear that she is way in focus. It's almost bizarre at how Phyllis was in the spotlight for years and years and years, and now she's really pulled back. We only see a couple scenes with her per week, and I really like it. I feel like less is more with Phyllis, just for now at least, just because the character has been so overused, and it's so nice just to enjoy the little bit of Phyllis that we're getting rather than having her in our face all the time. But it almost feels like now Avery is the Phyllis. She is up in so many storylines and the focus is really on her, and I like her. I actually this week was thinking to myself, I really like this actress, Jessica Collins. I wonder like what she's like. Do you think she's cool? Do you think she's weird? I don't know. Has anybody met her? Or I've never seen her on Twitter. I've never seen anything about her. I have no clue, but she raised my eyebrow this week. So I decided to go to Google and I typed in Jessica Collins and I looked at her Wikipedia page and I noticed that she was, well, because initially I thought, well, I wonder if she's been on any other soaps. And I looked at her Wikipedia page and she was on Loving in the early 90s. Do you remember that show, Loving? I didn't watch it, but it rang a bell to me. And so I thought, oh, well, I kind of want to see what she looked like on that show, you know, in the early 90s. I want to see what a young Jessica Collins, not that she's old by any means, but, you know, a younger Jessica Collins looks like. So I did a Google image search. And I found, yes, sure enough, some pictures of her much younger and a lot of stills from other movies that she's been in. And I came across a topless photo of her. She apparently in like 2004 did a TV movie, ironically entitled The Ranch. It's so weird that I would find this out this week when it's all about the new ranch. So this movie, The Ranch, featured her in a topless lesbian love scene. Whoa! I mean, there were boobs. I was shocked. I couldn't believe my eyes. It's so weird. I just assume that people are pure. I'm very naive, I guess, in that way, but I was very shocked. And in a way, I'm wanting to forget it because the thing is, I look at Avery and she just seems so together. Like, the actress does such a good job making me believe that she's kind of a nerdy, but like almost in a sexy librarian sort of way. She's always got the glasses and the suits and she seems very businesslike and she delivers the lines the way a lawyer probably would. And I really respect and like the actress, and I was like, whoa, I need to get this out of my brain. But I also noticed that a lot of her Google image pictures are very sexy. It seems like she's done a lot of sexy roles. I just wasn't expecting that, but I wanted to mention it because just in case any of you want to Google image search Jessica Collins, you probably have to turn your safe filter off, but if you want to see that, by all means, feel free. You're all doing it right now, aren't you? There's just something that's almost just, you can't help it. It's just like, really? I mean, are there any other YNR stars that have done nude work? If so, you gotta, like, email me that. It's never occurred to me before. I don't know why. So if anybody knows of anything, just let me know. Leave me a comment or send me an email or something. I gotta know. So, back to the storylines. Phyllis is becoming very close with Jack, and it is growing on me. Surprisingly, it is growing on me. But if Nick came knocking on Phyllis's door, I think she would take Nick back and kick Jack to the curb in a heartbeat. And that's what concerns me. I like them being intimate, but I'm concerned about whether or not it's real, whether or not it's lasting. And they had this moment this week where Phyllis is feeling very low after the Avery encounter. And she's, crying and feeling upset, and Jack reassures her, and it creates a real deep intimacy between them, so much so that Phyllis takes Jack to bed leads him upstairs and makes love to him. The thing that bothered me though was she was leading him upstairs to sex with tears in her eyes. And to me that just didn't feel genuine. Like everything between them feels sad. I want it to feel happy and ready for a new life. And I would love it if their relationship was coming from a place of freshness, not regret and default. So it does bother me. I've been saying for years that I would love to see Phyllis and Jack get back together, and now they are. So why does it feel so hollow? You know? Well, the next day, Jack was practically floating around the office, walking on air, on pillows, on marshmallows, on clouds on air. He was so happy that he just got some from the woman of his dreams at this point. And just as he is feeling great, Neil comes in and actually questions him, like, are you feeling good because you feeling good, or are you feeling good because of pills? And Jack says, no, this is an all-natural high. Well, as soon as Neil leaves, Jack finds a baggie of pills in his briefcase. Well, where did those come from? Was that a secret stash that you didn't know about and it just fell out because you use that briefcase every day? And how did you not know that there's a secret stash in that briefcase? Or has Jack been using again? Because he pulls out the pills and he has a moment like, do I want to take these? Everything is going so great right now. In fact, he was having a conversation with John where John is praising him, saying, I'm so proud of you, son. You brought the Abbotts back together and you're right where you belong. And then pills, and he considers it? I can't even believe he considered it. Of course, John's ghost comes back and starts talking to him again, you know, like, yeah, I can't believe you would do that. And Jack takes the pills and dramatically smashes them into dust, swipes them into the garbage can, which is where I hope that they stay. Because if Jack falls off the wagon again, I think both he and Phyllis are going to fall apart. At this point, they're the only ones holding each other together. Adam and Sharon are getting closer and closer every week. That's right, Adam asked Sharon to move in with him while she's remodeling the house, just because she's going to need a place to stay. If she doesn't have a kitchen, she surely should not have to stay at the ranch. This rich woman with tons of inheritance or money from her previous marriages certainly cannot live in a house without a kitchen. So she should just move in with Adam because they're friends, right? The thing about Adam and Sharon is they keep calling it a friendship, and then they seal the whole deal with a kiss. There was another passionate kiss this week. Oh, it was so nice. I'm not complaining at all. I am so happy for any calm moments between those two. I just love them. I love them together. I cannot help myself. And I know that it's all gonna get blown to hell as soon as Adam finds out that Chelsea is pregnant. This is just a wonderful, beautiful little calm before the storm. Nick is not happy with their involvement, of course. Nick is seeing Adam and Sharon around town just as much as Chelsea is, and Nick decides to get all controlling, and he confronts Adam and tells him to stay away from Sharon, and he confronts Sharon and tells her to stay away from Adam. And Sharon actually did a really good job of standing up to Nick. She just flat out told him, I'm going to date and I'm going to hire whoever I want, because Nick's not happy with the fact that she's hired Dillon to do the renovations on her house either. What do you know, by the way? Not only is he just doing some repair work on the kitchen, but Sharon has decided to use this as an opportunity to repair the whole kitchen. And there's some sort of foundation problem that's gonna take a long time. This is not gonna be a short project. Dillon's gonna have to stay around for this. This is gonna be some long days. they're going to be spending a lot of time together. She's trying to get close to him. In fact, she tried to get him to open up about Sullivan this week. She prodded him just a little bit. And the second she mentioned his name, Dillon just closed up. He did not want to talk about it. In fact, he left. He found an excuse to just get out of there, grab his coat and go, and he ended up at the GCAC drinking a beer. It's clearly a very difficult memory for him. He was thinking about it again this week, this situation where I think he feels like he let his friend down. The guy died right in front of him in combat, and he feels, I think, responsible on some level, or guilty, maybe guilty that he survived and the other guy didn't. I don't know, but he just did not want to talk about it. Although he did, kind of open up to Sharon a little bit about his family and his father. Dillon got this call from his father's caretaker this week, and there's apparently a problem. I don't know if he fell, I can't remember. Something happened that wasn't great with him, and I don't think life-threatening, but it was just enough to make Dillon concerned. Dillon's dad is ill, and Sharon was in the room when this phone call came in. So Dillon wouldn't open up about Sullivan, but he did open up a little bit about his father's illness. I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry. Something's wrong with the old guy. And so Dillon tries to keep a close eye on him. It's clear from all of these little phone calls that Dillon has had with his father that he cares about his father. He's concerned about him. I'm surprised that Dillon doesn't want to go back and be with him. It's sort of almost odd that he is staying in Genoa City when there's not a whole lot that was tying him here in the first place. Avery told him no, so it seems like he's creating excuses for himself to stay in town, to maybe get close with her again, not really wanting to take no for an answer. I thought it was a nice moment between Dillon and Sharon because Sharon also opened up about Cassie, and that's a very difficult conversation for her to have, and Dillon, I think, really appreciated that she was being open and honest. So they're developing a real relationship. And not to mention that Faith is fascinated with Dillon. He's around the house all the time now, and she just thinks that he's the cat's meow. It's really cute how Faith has taken a shining to Dillon. And they decided this week that they were all going to go on a hike together. Dillon was going to take Faith on a hike, and Sharon was going to go too, and it was going to be a fun little outing for them. They were going to go, they actually went out. They went into the woods on this hike, and they were looking for deer, and then Sharon and Dillon made up this little story about how there were elves in the woods and it was magical for Faith, and they're having a snowball fight, and it was really cute. The whole thing was really cute. They were acting like a little family almost. It was adorable until Sharon tripped and sprained her ankle. And the moment she sprained her ankle and was like, oh, hurt herself, Faith got spooked and ran. I don't know why she had that reaction, but Faith ran away. Sharon is on the ground with a sprained ankle. Faith has run away, and Sharon is begging Dillon to go find her. I was like more concerned too about Sharon being on the ground alone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope that Sharon doesn't get eaten by wolves. She's injured on the ground. I don't know how deep into the forest they are. Maybe an angry deer will come along and eat Sharon. Somebody needs to save her too. She ended up calling Nick on the cell phone, and Nick got the security team to go comb the forest to try to find Faith, but Dillon was the one that found her, and there was just a cute little moment between them. Faith clearly has kind of a crush on Dillon, and he gives her a little kiss and scoops her up and takes her back to safety. It was adorable. Everybody loves Dillon. How could you not love him? He's a nice guy. He's got his military service. He's good with kids. He's good to his father. Everybody loves Dillon. He's like the greatest guy on earth, apparently. Everybody is grateful to him for rescuing Faith. Nick is grateful. Sharon is grateful. It was awkward as hell for Avery, though. Just a quick little note that Mason is floating around. He's sort of without a storyline right now. He was fired by Adam last week, and so he goes to Gibeau to ask Jack if there are any positions for him there, which you would have thought Jack would have jumped on it and hired Mason, especially because Jack feels like he owes a debt of gratitude toward Sarge, and Mason is his nephew. But Jack kind of blew him off a little bit, said, well, I'll look into it, but I don't know, I can't make any promises. So Mason actually went back to Newman Enterprises, to Adam's office, and asked Adam to take him back on. The guy needs a job. I think he's really feeling the stretch right now. And Adam tried to sort of reverse blackmail him in a way, or reverse use him in a way. He said, yeah, I know you were working with my dad to get information on me. The only way I'm going to take you back and give you a job is if you can give me information on my dad. So it was a weird reversal. Mason is such a pawn. I feel bad for the guy. Actually, Mason and Adam were having this conversation right when Nick was coming over to tell Adam to stay away from Sharon. So Nick overhears their conversation and interrupts, like walks right on in and says, hey, you know, I'll give you a job, Mason. Any enemy of Adam's is a friend of mine. So I don't know if that means that Mason's gonna go work for Nick. I have no idea where this guy is fitting into the puzzle. Did Y&R just get a new budget for sets? Is that what it is? Like maybe they got their 2013 set budget, because all of a sudden we've got all of these new sets. Billy and Victoria's house is getting ready to get redone. They woke up from their sex paint haze and their living room was painted in this hideous bright purple color. Why would you paint your vintage home a hideous bright purple color? Their whole thing was Father Knows Best, and that didn't go at all. I thought that looked horrible. Ugh, I like their house. I wish they wouldn't change it, but apparently something's gonna happen. I don't know if maybe Billy and Victoria are gonna move into the condo. They've got to do something with that condo set, because revelation! The new ranch was revealed this week. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this. This is a huge topic. If you leave me a comment about nothing else, tell me what you think about the new ranch. Now, I liked it. I did. I think that the new ranch set is simple. I think it's clean. I think it still has kind of that classic Romanesque feel that Victor is known for, his busts and whatnot. It just has that vibe to it a little bit. I almost thought, well, it's a little more Victor than the condo even. The condo seems more Nikki and the ranch seems more Victor. I just thought, you know, the brick, there's a kind of a brick framing to the main doorway. I thought that really made it seem like it was an actual ranch. It gave me ranch vibe. Plus, there was photos and statues of horses everywhere, which I thought was very befitting. I mean, okay, it's not terribly exciting, let's be honest. There definitely could have been a whole lot more pizzazz, but I'm hoping that we're going to get to see a bedroom, maybe a kitchen, or like the new dining room where the Newmans can all gather around the table. That's what I would like to see. Newman family moments. Victor actually called a mandatory family meeting this week, because that's his idea of family, to announce, you know, the new place and have everybody over and have them see the new ranch. And everybody came. Summer came with Kyle, which was kind of awkward and inappropriate. It's a Newman family event and Summer invited an Abbott? That was pretty bad move on her part. And plus, Nick is all over this relationship. He is not about to have Summer getting involved with Kyle in any way, shape, or form. They did mention this week that Kyle's just out of college, which puts him probably at 23, 24. And he did say, he cornered Kyle and said to him, she may be 18, but she will always be my little girl. And Furthermore, stay away from her was the vibe. It really made Kyle uncomfortable. I don't know why he would go anyway. It was weird because he, I think, is oblivious to the fact that Summer has a crush on him. Even after the whole event, Kyle went back to the Abbott house and Summer kind of followed him there. It was a little awkward and walked in and into the Abbott house and said, I'm sorry about the thing with my dad. I'm sorry about the thing with my dad. And, there was this moment where Abby and Jack were there too and said to Kyle, duh, she has a crush on you. Kyle didn't see it. He's gonna need to pull him back out of himself back out of that situation. Whether he has good intentions, just wanting to help a kid that's feeling sad, I think that's the case, but it's getting a little bit too risky. I cannot see them together. That's just weird, right? I guess that's where we're headed. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that pairing. Gosh, what's gonna happen to Kyle once Ben finds out that Summer is involved with him? Ooh, Kyle's gonna get thrown off a roof mysteriously. So back to the ranch. Noah was invited, of course, to the private family party. He happened to mention to Adrianna in passing that that's where he was going. She asked if she could come with them, and he was like, no, you can't go. But Adrianna, can you believe this, you guys, waltzes into the Newman Ranch like she has a personal invite. It was really presumptuous of her. Her style is real abrupt. She is kind of like a ragamuffin. She had no business walking up in there after Noah told her specifically not to come. Who does she think she is? She mentioned that she's Catherine's new assistant, and both Nikki and Victor had an eyebrow up at that. But who does she think she is? Ugh. She rubbed me the wrong way there. But other than that, the ranch grand opening was mostly drama-free. Victor gave this toast that was very heartfelt, talking about how this place is the center of our family, and I always want you guys to be able to come here to talk about your problems or talk about anything that you want. I wish that the ranch would become the center of the Newman family. I wish that the Newmans would get their family back. I would love to see some togetherness there. I wish that Victor would retire. I wish that he would stop putting all of his energy toward one-upping Adam or trying to get the company back or pressuring his kids and trying to control their lives. I would love nothing more than if this was a new day for the Newman family. There was one other weird and sad moment. Adrianna, she walked by the piano and gave some crass comment about, so is this piano all for show or does somebody actually play it? And everybody says, oh, well, Nikki plays the piano. She's a wonderful pianist. And Victor totally put Nikki on the spot to play the piano. She has been struggling. We've seen her struggling with playing the piano for the last couple of weeks. Her hands, because of the MS, she doesn't have the coordination that she had before. And she says, Victor, no, I don't really want to play right now. I'm not very good. I'm not practiced. And he put her on the spot and made her do it anyway. And I was mad at him for not allowing her to gracefully duck out of that, but she starts playing the piano, starts playing beautifully, and there was just this wonderful moment where the children came up one by one and put the pictures and like the trinkets from their childhood on top of the piano as she was playing, just so symbolic of their support. I was crying. I mean, no kidding. I was full on tears and Kleenex as they were putting the pictures onto the piano. It just said to me that Nikki can do anything with their support, and that felt good. I mean, she was so relieved when she finished that song. I was so nervous for her. It took everything in her to finish playing that song. But to me, even though she was in pain and feeling uncomfortable, that she accomplished it said that no matter what the disease, she's not giving up. Jill and Catherine are hanging around in the mansion living room, marveling over a diamond watch that Jill just had repaired, when Adrianna comes on, again, waltzes right on in the room, and she's there to start work early. Obviously, she's upset about the situation with her brother, upset about her life, and she comes in to go to work early, and all of a sudden, the second she gets there, Jill's diamond watch disappeared. And naturally, Jill assumed that Adrianna took it, which I don't blame her at all, although it is kind of a callback to, like, do you remember when Jill was dead sure that Mac was a con artist? You know, Jill said a lot of the same things about Adrianna that she said about Mac back in the day. This girl's gonna take you for every penny you're worth. She could be, you know, stealing things from here. That was just very interesting. Jill is paranoid, but at the same time, the watch didn't go missing until Adrianna got there, and then Adrianna suspiciously stepped off screen and found it. Oh, here it is. Nobody saw where she got it from. She said I found it on the desk over there. It was just on the desk over there. She could have pulled it out of her pocket. I don't trust her. What do you guys think? Did she take the watch? I mean, I don't know. I felt like Catherine needed to at least ask her if she took the watch. Why take Adrianna's word, someone you've known for 5 minutes, over Jill's? Jill overreacts, but she's not prone to lying. I mean, Catherine, as soon as the watch is found and Jill leaves the room, Catherine says to Adrianna, oh, you know, I remember now, I picked it up and was to look at it, to admire the work that had been done on the watch, and I set it over there, and I just must have forgot about it because my memory is slipping. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm asking myself, is that possible that that's just what Catherine assumed happened? Catherine knows that she's been having memory problems. Did she just get paranoid and think maybe it was me that, you know, maybe I did it? I don't know. I don't know if Adrianna did it. I don't know if Catherine did it, but I know that I don't trust Adrianna. And there was just, it's creating a camaraderie between Adrianna and Catherine that I don't trust either. There's a moment where Adrianna says, I'll keep your secret, or it's sort of implied that, you know, yeah, you're losing your mind a little, but I'll keep your secret. I don't like it, and I don't like that through this whole thing, Kevin is lurking in the background. Kevin showed up at the Chancellor Mansion, and he saw pretty much the whole thing go down, and he needs money too. He's being shady too. He actually stood in the Chancellor living room and started kind of sizing things up. There was a scene where he was looking around, realizing all the valuables that are in the mansion, and he was talking on the phone to Chloe, like, talking about, like, how the place had no security and how you could just back up a truck and take a bunch of stuff out of here. I cannot believe, can you believe that? I am sorry, but if Kevin steals from Mrs. C, that is the last straw. I've been having a hard time dealing with his attitude lately, and if that's what he's gonna do, that is rock bottom. Not cool at all with me. Although, maybe Kevin will try to steal from Mrs. Chancellor, and Alex will get a job with the GCPD, and he'll end up putting Kevin in jail, leaving Chloe ripe for the picking. Alex has been fired from the NYPD, so he went to Michael this week and asked Michael if he could have a job. Like, as if Michael is suddenly the chief of police. Alex wants to be a detective. I know that Alex needs, you know, a new job and that he has police background, but I think this show needs less crime, not more. I would rather see Alex get some other kind of job. I don't know what kind, but something, some other occupation. But I'm hopeful that he'll stick around. I think he has a lot of potential, and I want to know what's going to happen with him. The whole Alex and Abby interaction happened again. They met at the club and had a drink, and there was a little bit of flirtation happening between them. And I'm sorry, Alex and Abby, the pairing is all wrong. All wrong. I mean, Abby saw Lauren and Carmine, by the way, didn't see them having sex, but saw that there was a little bit of a sort of happening between them. And so Abby sat down with Alex at the GCAC while Carmine was tending bar and sort of chummed it up with Alex just to make Carmine jealous. And I mean, this is not a good pairing. She's obviously still got a thing for Carmine. She's not really available. Alex doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know where he is in his life. So I'm fine with seeing them be friends, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think that's a good pairing. You know, the other thing that I just keep thinking about too is, do you remember when Adrianna told that whole story to Noah about how her brother was whoring her out? Like, her brother had made some suggestion that she sleep with one of his friends, and she kept insisting throughout the whole money debacle that Detective Chavez was a dirty cop. So is all of that a total lie? Or is there a dark side to Alex that we just haven't seen yet? Okay, my friends, that's gonna do it for me for this week. But now it's your turn. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about this week's show. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Mwah! Bye!